Hello everyone, today we have DIY with you. We will make a board that natively controls the address LEDs and is added to Apple HomeKit. I found this project on the GitHub site by its author at HomeKit and now we are viewing his page. The project is simple, there is all the description, there are prepared projects, there is Wikipedia where you can see what it is, how to make it. The author has already prepared his boards of different variants, there has accumulated a schematic provided, the basic scheme is quite simple, but we will not engage in mounted installation, but we will still make a kind of board. There are already several types of such boards. For example, the first version of the handkerchief was, for example, the second version of the handkerchief was, and there is a version of board number 3 that I liked the most and which I will focus on. Firstly, there is one power supply to both the tape and the controller, which I liked, and secondly there is a protective fuse in case of some kind of overload or short circuit. And I decided to repeat this case. The board looks like this, but I still decided not to completely copy the project, but to remake the board to suit my needs. Firstly, this board provides for the installation of 3 controllers. As you can see ESP12E, ESP07S or ESP01S. I stopped at the ESP12E controller and therefore threw out all the necessary elements from my wiring. Also, this board implies the use of the standard size 0805, I rarely use them, I mostly have 1206, so I also decided to redraw my board for this standard size. For each of the board options on the website there is a table with a list of elements and fittings that is necessary. I decided to remake the board for the standard size of the parts that I have in stock, and those parts that are unique and needed in this project before ordering on AliExpress. I will leave the links under the video of the board I made in the likeness of version number 3. But I adjusted it to the 1206 standard size for small parts, and also left it possible to connect and solder only the ESP12E controller. Other connectors were removed from the board, as it were, and abolished. While I was redrawing the boards, adjusting the size of the parts that are available, etching, applying a mask, a package from AliExpress with components for this project arrived. Let's open it and see what we need. The package also came grouped. I threw several items and delivered everything in one day in one package. In this package, we have a controller for this project. These are ESP12E modules directly, I took 3 of them, that is, with a margin. Next, we will need power connectors that will need to be soldered onto our handkerchief, approximately in this way. To protect against overload or short circuit, a fuse is installed on the board. Probably you will need to expand the hole, but nevertheless it will stand here. But I saw me fuses fuse 10A size 5 by 20 mm. But the voltage stabilizers are 3.3V in order to get a stabilized voltage for the ESP12 controller from the 5V power supply unit. This is a chick and 74 in my opinion, which also has a place on the board. And so the main components arrived. I got the little things from my old stocks and, in principle, we can already start assembling the board. I scattered the elements on the board. And you can even imagine what kind of board will be and how it will look like we are starting the assembly. And so, we got such an interesting payment. In my opinion, everything turned out very culturally and compactly. The elements are located quite tightly. There is a regular input for a regular power supply, not via USB to feed. There is a protective fuse that goes along the circuit to the diodes, and in the case of a short circuit or some nuances, the fuse will burn out. Well, the tracks that will power the LEDs are that mass, that plus are thick enough, not like on conventional ESP8266 modules, it remains to flash. We will flash like the sun-off boxes with this TTL programmer via the command line using the ASPTools program to enter the board into programming mode, insert the pins into the corresponding RX, TX and GND connectors. Then we insert the USB into the computer port, hold down the key and supply power. On the project pages, we download 3 root files to our users folder.bin, blank_config.bin and ledstrip.bin. Next, we insert the firmware code into the command line, respectively, with the correctly specified port of your programmer and the path where your firmware files lie. The whole firmware process takes no more than 40 seconds, and the last cherry on the cake will be this sticker with the HomeKit code of the device. We can connect. At the first power supply, the device will flash a diode and the internal installation process will begin. After a couple of minutes, we try to connect to our device, go into Wi-Fi and look for an access point with the name HomeKit and numbers. The digits are the last digits of the MAC address breed connection 123456778. As a rule, the browser itself throws us to the address 192.168.4.1. If this does not happen, you can log in manually. Here we need to enter the number of LEDs. I use 64 and connect to Wi-Fi. After that, click Join, the HomeKit network will disappear and the device will reboot. Now we are trying to add his Apple Smart Home. We add a room and give it a name. As you can see, we have a light bulb device in the nursery room. And I called it the matrix. Now we will connect this matrix. In the HomeKit app, we can only change the color and change the brightness. But this is already a light bulb on the address LEDs. The temperature is also available, that is, warm white, cold white, medium white. All the most interesting things are waiting for us in the Eve app. We choose a nursery, find our matrix device, and here we can change the effect. In total, such effects can be set to 54 counting 0. Interesting rainbow transfusion effect, for example, 9. In order to throw it into the HomeKit Smart Home, you need to save it as a script to add actions, a children's room. That's the effect you need. It's under number 9, add. Next, we assign him an icon. Let's make some more effect. As you can see, our scripts have appeared in HomeKit, and we can turn on either the worm effect or the rainbow effect with one movement. We can also control the light with the help of a voice assistant. Matrix lamp, blue Siri voice, OK, blue. Matrix red voice Siri, OK, I'm coloring everything in red light. Matrix blue voice Siri, blue, so be it. Light matrix red voice Siri, OK, red light matrix green voice Siri, OK, I paint everything green. The places where you can apply this board are limited solely by your imagination. It can be just a ribbon that you will use as a backlight in the interior, a compact matrix from which you can make some kind of bedside lamp, or it can be large, three-dimensional panels for decorating all the walls in the room. If you liked the material from this video, put thumbs up, leave a comment. Up to new videos, up to new crafts. Bye everyone.